Most people think war is about glory, marching flags, heroic speeches, medals shining in the sun. But the truth, war is about silence, the silence before battle, when the air feels heavier than lead, the silence after a friend's last breath, when you realize no shout, no scream can bring him back, and the silence that follows you home, long after the guns are gone, long after the world has moved on. But you remain stuck in yesterday's battlefield. That is the war no one talks about. They told us war would make men of us, that the battlefield is where boys grow into warriors. But here I stand, clutching cold steel in my hands, and I feel less like a warrior and more like a shadow of the boy I used to be. Every soldier has two voices inside him, one that shouts orders, loud, commanding, telling you to march, to fire, to move, and the other, quieter. A whisper of doubt, a whisper that asks if you'll ever see home again. The truth? It's the whisper that never leaves. The night before a battle is the longest night of your life. It doesn't matter how tired you are. Sleep will not come. You stare at the stars above the camp, wondering if this sky is the same one your family sees back home. And you think, what if this is the last time you see the stars? Some soldiers write letters. Their hands shake as they put ink to paper, trying to say everything that matters in just a few lines. If I don't come back, I love you. If I don't come back, tell my son his father was brave. Words written in the dark, sometimes sealed, sometimes left unfinished, because deep down they hope they'll never need to be read. Some soldiers close their eyes, pretending to sleep, but their minds march ahead to the next morning, to the sound of boots, to the clash of rifles, to the smoke and the screams. Me, I count the memories I might never touch again. My mother's smile as she handed me bread still warm from the oven, my brother's laugh sharp and wild, echoing across summer fields. The way the air smelled after rain back home, fresh and alive, not heavy with smoke and blood. They tell us courage is the absence of fear. But that's a lie we tell recruits to keep them from trembling. Courage isn't being fearless. Courage is moving forward, one step, then another, even when every part of your body begs you to turn and run. And then, the morning comes, the battle begins. When the shooting starts, time itself shatters, seconds stretch into hours, hours collapse into seconds, and you no longer know whether you've been fighting for minutes or for days. At first you hear commands, orders shouted by men trying to control chaos. But soon all you hear are prayers. Some whispered, some shouted at the sky, prayers for mercy, prayers for survival. The ground itself trembles with the weight of explosions. Dirt flies into the air like broken earth trying to escape. The smoke chokes the sky until even the sun refuses to shine. And yet, in the middle of all that thunder and fire, the loudest sound is the softest one. The last breath of the man beside you, a gasp. A whisper, and then nothing, that silence. It cuts deeper than any bullet. No movie, no book, no training can prepare you for that moment, for the way it hollows you out inside, for the way it stays with you long after the guns have fallen quiet. And then comes the aftermath. People think war ends when the last shot is fired, but that's only the beginning. The real war begins when the noise fades. When the battlefield is nothing but broken helmets, shattered rifles, and the stillness of bodies that will never rise again. The real war lives in the memories that refuse to leave, in the faces that return each night when you close your eyes, faces of brothers you laughed with yesterday, faces you can no longer touch today. They say, victory belongs to the living, but sometimes living feels like punishment. I walk through the ruins, past helmets with no heads beneath them, boots with no feet inside, letters stained in blood, words that will never reach the hands they were written for. And I ask myself, a question I can never answer: why me? Why was I chosen to survive when better men did not? They told us war would make us heroes, but I do not feel like a hero. I feel like a man dragging behind me the weight of too many ghosts. At night, I still hear them. The laughter of comrades around a fire, the cry of a boy calling for his mother as he bled out in the dirt. The silence of men who had no words left to give. And when the world celebrates peace, when flags are raised and speeches are made, I sit in the shadows because I know peace is only for those who never saw the battlefield. War doesn't end with treaties or handshakes. It doesn't end with ink on paper. It ends only when the last memory fades. And God help me, I pray that day never comes, because forgetting them, forgetting the men who stood, who fell, who gave everything, would be the final betrayal, and I will not betray them. If you hear my words, let them not vanish in the wind. Carry them, share them, remember them, because remembrance is the only peace a soldier ever truly finds, for those who never returned, for those who never forgot. Their silence is now my voice. Subscribe to hear more untold voices from the battlefield.